Hi my dear friends, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be painting this winter inspired floral arrangement. And so to start with, I'm first have a sheet of paper which is in A4 size, and the brand of paper which I'm using today is from Art Essentials, and this is 100% cotton and in A4's 300 GSM. Alright, so to start with, first I am going to plan the sketch. And although I'm painting a loose style floral arrangement, but it is essential to plan your sketch beforehand, because when you start to paint it, it's usually very intuitive, especially when I'm adding filler flowers and other elements. So planning your sketch is a good way to start. And so here I have planned out 3 different types of flowers, which are roses, some cosmos, and a few cornflowers. Besides that, I'll also be adding filler flowers and leaves. Here I have kept the main focus flowers towards the center, and surrounded it with the other filler flowers. So that's about how the sketch is looking. The next step is I'll show you the colors. Also, I have kept them very cohesive, and they're mostly in a blue shade, blue color palette. And here I have some Payne's gray, and I'm going to mix a tiny bit of yellow to this to kind of warm the shade a little bit, very little, not too much. And this will be my color for my white roses, and it's a very diluted form of Payne's gray. As you can see, the swatch, it's almost very transparent. I always like to paint the roses in C strokes, so since this is just the first layer, I'm just kind of filling the space wherever I have sketched out the roses, and I'm using C strokes to fill the first transparent shade of Payne's gray. Now the second color I'm mixing here is some olive green, and I've mixed a tiny bit of purple to that. This is bright purple, and this kind of helps me mute the green a little bit, and that's how the green is looking like. And here I wanted to paint something like a dried out cornflower. I don't exactly know the name of this one, but I kind of saw it in one of the references, so I was trying to kind of achieve the same, but it didn't really turn out that well, but that's okay. I'm going to kind of cover up with something else. Here I have taken some ultramarine blue and mixed a little bit of Payne's gray to that. And again, if you can see, the main color here is Payne's gray, which I'm going to be mixing most of the time with other different shades, and that allows me to stay in the same color palette, but at the same time create different shades. So this was the cornflower. They almost look like a cosmos flower, but then the petals are kind of separated, and they're more thinner. And those are the 2 cornflowers. Again, this is the first layer, so I'm again, of course, after it dries out, I will definitely go over it and add details. This color, what I'm mixing is, I've mixed a tiny bit of viridian green to the ultramarine blue here, and it kind of created a nice different type of blue. So this is the shade I'm going to use for the cosmos flowers. Next, I started adding some depth to the flowers. So here I have used some ultramarine blue and kind of started adding some shadows towards the bottom of the flowers where I feel the shadows would hit generally, and to kind of bring out the flowers a little bit more. Now this step definitely you have to do when you have to let the first layer dry, of course. And here I'm changing my brush, so I have a number 6 here, and the roses have dried out as well. So with the same previous Payne's Gray mixture which we had made in the beginning, I'm just taking a little bit of concentrated color this time and adding depth to the flowers. Now another way that I like to add details to my florals are, sometimes I also like to use a very fine brush. So here I'm using a number 2 and just adding tiny lines and dots, just to these are some small details that kind of really gives a very interesting feel to your painting. It's not a lot actually, just a simple line and a dot can create a lot of difference sometimes. So the next step is I have started adding some leaves. For the leaves I'm using Viridian green and also mixture of Van Dyke green. So here I have mixed Van Dyke green with a little bit of sepia, to kind of mute the green a little bit, because also again I'm trying to stay in the same color palette, so I'm mixing greens which have a little bit more of a cooler undertone, and here I'm adding stems and again some shadows and stuff like that. Now this part is almost very intuitively and just kind of taking my time here, stepping aside and kind of just just like take a whole feel of the painting and then just start adding the leaves and stems. This part is also about enjoying the whole process. So over here I'm just filling some gaps with green, just to kind of mimic the presence of a leaf probably behind the flower, and also some shadows and things like those, and adding some filler flowers. Now the filler flowers are also again very intuitive, because there's just some references that I have picked up over time, and while painting it just stays in my mind that these are the type of shapes or forms that I can include in the painting. And so here I am now trying to paint the rose, which is in a slight different angle than the previous two. Of course, going on and adding more leaves. Again, the choice of leaves are completely up to you. um, Over here I'm adding these are like the silver dollar eucalyptus leaves, I guess that's what they're called. I'm so sorry, I don't know the names of all of them, It's just that over time I have picked up the references and I just remember the shape and the look of the leaves and the flowers, and that's how I incorporate them in my paintings. Another way that you can create interest in your paintings is by mixing different shades of green. Now in this painting, although my color palette is very cool tone, but I have added a little bit of a slightly warmer shade of green towards the background, but I have kept it very diluted so that it wouldn't clash with the actual color palette. So from here, mostly now, since I've almost painted the main focus flowers, and so from here on, they are mostly filler flowers and other elements and leaves and things like those. So this is completely up to you. You have to step aside and take your time and think about where you want to place your leaves and stuff. A lot of time, so many of you have asked me how I plan the filler flowers. It's actually really not very difficult. You just kind of, if you just take a step back and just see the spaces that require something, and it will automatically come to you over time when you keep painting more and more. And sometimes, of course, also you can take help of references and just go over and have a look at floral arrangements and how how the shapes of the flowers are arranged in a certain way, and that will really give you a nice idea of how you can place filler flowers in your paintings. And adding depth and shadow, that's just something that I like to do personally in my paintings. That is again an optional step. It's completely up to you, because I like the effect that it creates in my paintings, especially because it really almost gives a very nice three-dimensional look and really helps the painting come alive. The amount of detail you can add to your painting is, again, it's unlimited. It's you can go on and on, but then there also has to be a point where you will understand that okay, I need to stop and I can, this is the amount of detail that I want in the painting. Okay, so I think we're almost at the end of the painting, and here I'm signing my name, and I hope you guys like the painting. I think it turned out well. I tried to just keep the color palette very cool because it was inspired by winter. And let me know in the comments whether you liked it, and if you did, then do subscribe to my channel, like the video, and I'll see you again in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.